we've got two pretty similar looking lights here. They're both Olights from the same line, the M2 line. So this is the this one here is the M2R. This one's rechargeable, and this is the M2T, which I'm going to assume means tactical because of the tail switch here. So both very close in size. Very, very close in size. This is the M2R is about 0.1 inches narrower and about 0.1 inches longer overall. Both have the same clip. So what are the major differences here? The tail switches are different, very different. On the M2R, it's flush, it doesn't protrude at all. M2T, it does protrude. So if you're going to be using a tail switch a lot, in my opinion, this one, the M2T, is much easier to use if you're going to be using it frequently. But the M2R is still pretty easy to use. If you're wearing gloves a lot, then the M2T is definitely going to be much easier to use the tail switch. Both can give you turbo, instant direct access to turbo, and both can give you direct access to strobe from the tail switch. With the M2T, you can get to momentary turbo, momentary strobe, and constant turbo without doing anything additionally. It's just a light press, partial press. Okay, so with the M2T, if you want turbo, just a partial press. If you want strobe, you push it all the way in and you get strobe. If you want constant turbo, constant turbo, you just press it in, firm press, and just real quick there, you don't hold anything down. With the M2R, you got turbo, and then if you press it down, you can get constant turbo. But if you want to get to strobe from the tail switch, you got to do turbo, press it all the way down, and then hit the side switch. So now you have turbo or strobe, but you can't have constant turbo and strobe all at the same time from the tail switch. Other differences with the tail switch, obviously, the M2R, the R is rechargeable, so you do have the Olight rechargeable blue clip that goes on here. It's just a little magnetic connector, and then it's USB, plug it in, so you don't need an additional battery charger of any kind if you're using this light. And then this also has a magnetic tail cap, which works if you have a porous surface. It will not stay on a smooth surface though. So adds a little bit more functionality, whereas the M2T is not rechargeable in the light. So either you're going to have to buy spare batteries, or you're going to need an additional battery charger if you want to use rechargeable batteries. So the M2R, in my opinion, was just trying to be one light for everything. Like, you've got a 1 lumen mode, you've got a very high mode, you have some tactical application there, but it's also rechargeable. So it's just kind of one light for everything. And the M2T is geared more towards being tactical. See, the heads are pretty much the same there. If you want neutral, the M2R does come in neutral, warmer, yellower tint, whereas the M2T is only in the cool white. So the side switch functionality is pretty much the same. Both have the lockout there. Both are waterproof, IPX8, and the drop resistance of 1.5 meters. You can see the heads are a little bit different. This one's got 3 slots, this one's got 2 for the cooling, but they're very, very similar designs, and you can see the anti-roll is a little different there too. But the only reason I'm doing this is in a lot of the Olight posts about either one of these lights, and on Facebook, and then some of the other things, the contests and that they've done, I've seen a lot of people not understanding what the difference even is between the two lights. So if you don't really care which one, you just want to get one of them, you're not really sold between the differences, you just know you want one of them, then I'm going to say, if you do not already have an 18650 battery that is rechargeable and a battery charger, I'm going to say get the M2R. It costs more money initially, but it comes with a high capacity 18650 battery, 34 or 3500 milliamp hour battery, so that's one of the larger batteries there. And you don't need a separate charger because you can just recharge it in the light. If you already have a good 18650 battery or a very strong supply of CR123A batteries, I would say this one is cheaper. So if you really just are sold on, I have to have one of them, and that's that, this guy's going to save you about 20 bucks, I think. It might be a little bit more than that even. So I would go with this one. Consider your applications too. I did have the M2T a few times getting in and out of vehicles. It would do a little bit of accidental activation because the tail switch is entirely unprotected, but that was only a few times, and you could probably eliminate that by getting a custom sheath made for it, like a Kydex or something like that. I don't recall having that happen with the M2R though. If you're just going for one light and you don't really have anything, you're just, you like I was a year and a half ago, I just want to super upgrade from my own mini mag, and you don't really have any batteries or anything else, this is still going to be the way to go with the M2R. Both lights can use CR123A batteries, 2 of them to run. The M2R did not come with a battery magazine, but you don't really need it. There's not that much rattle. Both of them have very quiet tail switches. So, I mean, you might be able to hear that. And then there's the M2T. I mean, that's right next to the microphone right there. So they're both very quiet. So in that sense, neither one has an advantage. I'm going to say they're both decent products overall. I was a little concerned about this guy because after I did my waterproof test with it, it started acting erratically. And it seems like it's okay now. I think I just... Yep. Yeah, this guy's going back. All right, so if you have any questions, go ahead and just leave a comment down there and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.